joined today by Tyson Flinn, who is the outgoing executive director of Golf New Brunswick. And, we just wanted to, you've done a lot for the game of golf and in our sport, and I know worked, very closely with our executive director, Brian Lee, here in Saskatchewan. And, going to move on after 12 years before we talk about kind of your tenure there, Tyson. The start for you, was golf always, I know you're kind of a hockey guy, but was golf always in your plans, or how did you end up, leading the province of New Brunswick golf?
Well, it's mostly by happenstance, to be perfectly frank. Golf was never something that I really did a lot growing up. Played a little bit, had some friends that played a little bit. As you said, I was a hockey guy, baseball guy. Grew up in rinks and on ballparks, and in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Those are kind of the two biggies, especially on the side of the river that I grew up on. As we always said, the north side was hockey and baseball, the south side was basketball and football. So I grew up in rinks and grew up on baseball diamonds, and played a little bit of golf, but I'm a phys editor by trade. So my degrees in kinesiology and education from the University of New Brunswick. Found out very quickly that I loved teaching, but teaching in the school system wasn't necessarily my cup of tea. So I was kind of doing a little stopgap with the province of New Brunswick, and this kind of just popped on my radar, and I threw my name in on a lark, and 12 years later, here we are. So it wasn't something that was certainly in the plans, but sport is, to use your quote, in my blood, I would say. And getting into sport and sport administration was, felt like a natural progression for me. And I just kind of did that, and honestly learned on the fly. Learned on the fly from some real good friends, Brian Lee being one of them, and his predecessor, Daniel Rockman. So, and Daniel and I were pretty good friends as well for the first couple of years of my tenure here. And then obviously Brian slid right into that role, and we've had some very good times, and we've accomplished a lot over the last decade or so.
Obviously when you spend 12 years doing something, you hope that there's some highlights and some things that'll really stand out for you. What are those off the top of your head?
Well, I mean, from a performance standpoint, a pretty recent one here. We had Darren Ritchie just won his second national championship, won the Canadian Senior Men's Championship last week in Vallée-Richelieu in Quebec. So that was really something. Darren and I have gotten to know each other a little bit over the last 5 or 6 years. Great player, great man. His son Nicholas is a heck of a young player as well. So we've spent a fair bit of time together at events over the last few years. Calvin Ross winning the Canadian Junior Boys in, I'm going to date myself, but I want to say it was 2017. 2016, 2017 will be the same year that Canada Games was held. So, and having that same Canada Games team win a bronze medal, with Calvin being a part of that group as well, it was a pretty special time in golf in New Brunswick. And, Calvin actually shot a course record at Cataraqui to win that championship. So that was kind of neat as well. From an administrative standpoint, I think we've accomplished a lot out here from, the growth of our championships, while, unfortunately, participation until the last couple of years when COVID decided to kind of give golf a shot in the arm. It may have been down a little bit, but we certainly hang our hat back here that we run a top shelf event, and the feedback we always get is doing that, and I'm pretty proud of that. We always ran a good one, and I think what we've done is we've taken that to kind of the next level, and hopefully we've laid the pathway for future administrators in the province to carry that torch, and away they go. So.
What's it like to, just watching golf right now, just to explode into what it is, and what kind of do we have in the future to keep it going?
That's a great question. I think that's the $1 million question for everybody. It's one that's being asked across the industry and frankly, across the world. I think I heard it best said out of Australia a little over a year ago that golf doesn't have a recruitment problem. Golf has a retention problem. Inevitably we recruit 5 to 10% new people every year. And, unfortunately we lose a few, but the last couple of years have certainly seen a boom. I think from an administration standpoint, it's up to us to develop those programs and services that give people that new life and that enjoyment factor. And I think a lot of it, regretfully, I shouldn't say regretfully, but it falls on the facilities as well to make sure that those people enjoy themselves. They have a good time, that they want to come back. The heavy lifting there's the regretfully part. It does fall on the golf professionals and the managers of golf courses, and really the players, to be perfectly frank. I think we all have a role to play in making sure that those new golfers enjoy themselves, and that when they get into the game, they find that passion that we've all found and we've all fostered over the years. And I'm living proof of it. As we said, I didn't play a whole lot of golf growing up, but man, I got into it and it got into the blood awful quick, and it's here to stay now. So I think that's the collective goal for all of us, whether it be from a golf administration perspective at the provincial and national level, whether it be from a club administration perspective, and really right down to the players and coaches to make this game enjoyable for everybody at the end of the day. And I think we're heading in the right direction. And it's just a matter of capitalizing on this newfound growth and keeping our newfound friends at the end of the day.
There's got to be some spectacular golf courses out there, though, on the coast, and with even some landlocked ones that are probably must get tos if you have the means to get across Canada and see some places.
Well, that is a fact, and everybody knows the tremendous facilities that Nova Scotia has in the Cabots and the Highland Links and some of the great spots in Prince Edward Island, whether it be Crobus Cove or Dunderave, some of those places. But we usually say that the value that you can get in New Brunswick from a golf perspective is off the charts, and it's better than you're going to get anywhere else. And for us, we've worked really hard over the last number of years to get those people that are kind of driving through New Brunswick as they look at it, as they have their eyes set on the Nova Scotias and the Newfoundlands and the Prince Edward Islands of the world, to kind of stop and take a look around. We really have some great golf courses. As you said, a lot of them, are landlocked. So, if people are coming east looking for that by the water kind of adventure in New Brunswick, it's a little harder to come by. We do have some great ones, the Algonquin down in St. Andrews, Gowan Bray in Bathurst in the northeast part of the province. It's dubbed Pebble Beach of the East for a reason, or Pebble Beach of the North for a reason, with 14 holes with a view of the Bay of Chaleur, which is top shelf, held the Canadian Senior Championship just a few years ago. But man, we've got some great value and some great golf courses that I think really turn heads when people stop and take a look around, whether it be, the Fraser Evanston Golf Club in Edmonton, in the Northwest, held a 2002 Canadian AM men's amateur. Cover Bridge in Heartland, New Brunswick, held the 2019 Canadian Junior Boys, even right down through Fredericton with Kingswood, Mactaquac, Fox Creek, Royal Oaks in the Moncton area. We've got some tremendous spots, and I would certainly encourage anybody to come on out here. And if you're really concerned about it, talk to Rick Young. Rick has been a tremendous supporter of New Brunswick golf over the years from a writing perspective. And, he'll certainly talk your ear off about the quality of golf that's out here for sure.
Yeah, I've definitely seen his stuff on Twitter for sure. There was one memorable moment on a golf course for you. I understand the few of the EDs were playing, and I don't know, was that your only hole in one or?
It was, and none of us to this day, still saw it go in. So as a matter of fact, kind of stomped around the green in quite a huff, not knowing where the golf ball was, as it was Death Valley long. And I thought I was inside our colleague Mike Kelly from Ontario, and we found his 15 feet from the cup. Got a little flabbergasted at the end of the day, but yeah, we eventually found it in the cup. And no, it was quite an afternoon at Dundas Valley. A tremendous Stanley Thompson golf course that known for being Mackenzie Hughes' home track in the Hamilton area. And I guess the funniest part about that is I walked right to the next tee, put it in play, ripped it down the left-hand side behind trees, hit a 9-iron up over the trees, rolled in the putt, made birdie, walked to the next tee, put the peg in the ground, and then started going, what am I doing? I've got an ace, and it's the only one that I think I'll probably ever get, and I've already hit 4 shots with it. So that promptly went back into the golf bag. And but yeah, it was a heck of a day, and honestly, I couldn't think of 3 better guys to be around with. My friend Dave Campbell was the former executive director in Nova Scotia. Mike Kelly is the ED in Ontario, and of course Brian. So yeah, it was a great group to have that experience with, and it's one that I'll cherish.
And that's the thing, now you're going to have a new job, but you can still play golf. Those memories are going to come, and that's part of our game. But I guess, for you, Tyson, kind of what's next? It sounds like almost back to the roots a little bit career-wise.
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah, I've taken a job with the province of New Brunswick in the Department of Education. Not going back to teaching, so no need to worry there. No, I've found an opportunity there that I think is going to be really exciting, and allow me to do some project management type of work and some change management work, and it's going to be really interesting, really exciting. Looking forward to maybe being a little more on a regular schedule come the summer months. I know my wife's certainly looking forward to that as well. For now, come July, she may be looking to get rid of me a little bit more often. You never know. But what else is new for those of us who spend a lot of time away from the household, and then we kind of, when we get back in, maybe they've realized how well I've had it over the years. But no, really looking forward to the chance. It's going to be a unique challenge for me to get back into a more regular kind of routine, and something that's going to be new every day. And not that this industry doesn't have its uniqueness and its daily challenges, but I've got 12 years in this spot. I'm 5 years beyond my two predecessors, and there certainly comes a time that maybe a change is best for all. And I think our organization is set up for success. We've got a tremendous young fellow that Luke Lacey, who's going to take over as the interim executive director until a permanent replacement can be found. But he's a top shelf young man who's doing great things. If anybody's ever seen our social media work, that's Luke. So a big shout out to Luke and all the work he does there. I think our social media presence is second to none across the country, whether it be our Twitter account, our Facebook account, or Instagram, or whatever else the kids are using these days. He's all over it. So no, I think we're set up for success, and I think the golf industry in New Brunswick is set up for success as well. And at the end of the day, I hope that I played a small part in that.